It's D. Floyd. D. Floyd, push play, 911, familiar team, live in the den with my man Snapper Jones, happy in Wings World.
Appreciate you.
I guess I'll
from the den.
Does this count?
You win. And my Big Rob boys, rest in peace, Big Rob. We miss you dearly in the den. Go-go icon, legend, Hall of Famer, all that comes under that. Since 79.
Basically.
Long ride. I hosted. It's a 30-year retirement. It's 25-year party. He's a great guy, man. I didn't know he was as supportive of me behind the scenes as he was till we actually got together and he did a video for the 20-year anniversary thing. And I didn't know he was just as fond of me as I was of him, being on that stage, doing what we do in different limelights. Definitely one of my favorite guys, man, in go-go and favorite men. D. Floyd, man, it's an honor to have you down in the den. Talk about your illustrious career.
Definitely that.
The ups and downs, the in-betweens, and to be in it for over 30, and I ain't in it, but I'm on the outside looking in. But I know it's a cutthroat business. One of the best, man, that I've ever seen on stage, putting bands together, and you got a lot of respect.
Man, it's an honor to be here. I wish half of that stuff was true. I would take it straight to the bank. But same here, man. It's always been, you obviously one of the pillars of this community. I got you up there with Peter Bug and the rest of those cats that always just was in the community, man, making sure people had something positive to do. Always came over and tried to support the Goodman League, which has become, by the way, one of the most prestigious outdoor summer leagues in the country. So, it's an honor to be here.
D. Floyd's career, go-go lead talker, did it start with lead talking?
No.
How did it start? Talk about it.
Saxophone. I was, you wouldn't think about it now, but we was just little kids. We was in high school, and I was in high school, Duke Ellington, trying to be a classical saxophone player. Penny Loafers and all of that stuff going on. And Troy Smoot asked me to be in his go-go band. This is 79 maybe, and so I'm like, what's go-go? Right? Like, what? Well, I don't even know what it is. But he indoctrinated me over to Chance Band, and so I was a saxophone player. And then just to fast forward a tad bit, DC decided he was leaving Red Essence. He was the great showman.
Rest in peace, DC.
Rest in peace, DC. The great showman for Red Essence as a saxophone player. And I knew a guy who knew somebody who knew funk. And funk wasn't there at the time. He had proper utensils, but he got me to audition. And so I went down and auditioned. So that's what I was. I was the saxophone player.
And a damn good saxophone player.
Well, I was okay. I definitely was okay.
You become to be a great, and in different bands you've been in, I listened to you play that sax, and you pretty damn good at it.
Trying to get there.
So when did you pick up the mic?
So funk came back. It was funny when you think about it. When you think about this stuff, it seemed to be a long period of time, but really it was just a very short period of time. When I got there in '83, funk was gone. And it was Benny and Lawrence the Maniac and White Boy. And somewhere in there, funk came back. And when funk came back, rap was just slowing in.
Okay.
And I used to be a rap fanatic, and funk got me to learn some LL Cool J rap, and that's kind of how I started on the microphone.
Yeah. That's interesting, because so that goes back to, like I told Funk, Benny, White Boy wasn't really talking about back then, and then to fit you in there. That how did that all work out with the two of you guys?
When Benny was there and Funk, I wouldn't come nowhere near the microphone.
Okay, you straight sax. straight sax.
Well, and you had to learn to be Fred Astaire. You had to learn them steps back then. Go-Go had some pride back then.
Right.
Go-Go had a little pride back then, so I had to learn them steps. And me, Benny, and John Jones, big on, and so I didn't come nowhere. And by the way, they might have been the greatest 1-2 punch ever.
No
Benny and Funk.
No argument there.
You'd have to look back at it now when you were a little young for this conversation, but
young buck.
They really, without even a conversation, they really, like, Funk would be the gift of gab in the call and response. Benny was very methodical. What's that fuss?
Right.
Hey, what's going to say? He was really methodical. He really, in my opinion, was the original two. You just don't look at it like that, because he was a band leader for so long. You would think he was a one, but really, to me, he was really a two. But so just watching that whole thing, man, was just great. And then Benny left very early, over $50 a week, right?
Y'all get $50 a week?
No. We would get 50. No, we would get $50 a week.
Back then? That's a good.
We would play we would play 5 or 6 times a week, and we would get $50 a week.
Oh.
And Benny wanted 100, so 50 more.
Okay.
And no, so Benny left and started the Masters.
Oh, okay.
And when Benny left,
peace to my 1981 classmate.
Yeah.
Benny.
Yeah.
With Bad Balloon. Okay.
Yeah.
This interesting.
And when Benny left, I wouldn't say I took that position, but I kind of grew into being a little bit more vocal.
Right.
Because White Boy still wasn't. Funk would call the song, Funk would tell White Boy what the song was, and White Boy would tell the band.
Okay.
And if you was at the reunion, that's really how it went all over again. Funk was saying this is the song, and White Boy was telling everybody. That's kind of how it was funny. The reunion was funny to me. It was just like
that
the old
very
times.
unique looking when you looking on stage and trying to figure out. And I asked Funk that when he was here. The signals, who to win the band, the songs, when Funk do all what he does, and then how do you get back to the music, and when did you call Benny up, and when did Floyd come up, and he said it just in practice it just.
So basically, White Boy has
worked.
been the music director for
Ever.
Okay.
Ever. Ever.
So let me ask you a question. Go back. When did it start, and what are the sounds of the company?
Oh, the record company. Always. Always. The great thing and the awful thing about Ray Essence is they've always been a one-stop shop, right? Like, funny story, well, if you want to laugh, it ain't so funny, but a camera crew, we was playing at the Hyatt Regency, I think, and a camera crew came down there. We didn't know who none of them was. Sis was alive.
Okay.
Miss Mac was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And Sis, she didn't hit the guy, but she made it clear, you got to get this stuff out of here. You ain't nobody, because, again, Ray Essence is a one-stop shop. Like, you not filming us, you ain't nothing us, right? And so the camera crew left, went down to 930 Club, where EU was playing, videoed EU, took the video back to Spike Lee.
That's how the butt got.
That's how they became in that movie In the Butt.
So that could have been RE.
Was supposed to be. I mean, that was their assignment, was to come get RE for this movie.
Okay.
Wow. But not knowing who they was, and again, they've always been such a one-stop shop.
Gotcha.
Sounds of the Capitol. I can't remember what the first song would have been, but they've always had that record label for their records. I don't know that.
Was the Flatliners on that?
No, that was my record company. I had Colossal Records, me and Foots.
Okay.
And Baba and Mike Johnson, we had our own record company. Because somewhere in there, it's kind of weird. Because we was kids, that's the important part.
Yeah.
Right? We were teenagers when this whole thing started. So, a couple of money, a couple of girls, and, this is beautiful.
Right.
But, so we started throwing parties and started making money. And we did a party at, what's that basketball gym across the street at Maryland University? Not the main one, but where the girls would play. Was it Richie Cup?
Yeah, Richie.
Was Richmond College?
Richie.
Right. So we made a deal with a guy to do that party, and this guy was head of the student union at Maryland University. This was his first party.
Okay.
This was one of our first parties. Ends up being Abdul.
Wow.
Right? But anyway, we walked out with trash bags. Like, we made money that night. And so the powers that be said, nah, y'all too young to make this kind of money.
What?
So again, this the one-stop shop. They're like, nah. And so then we started doing the record company stuff, because you can't say nothing to us over here. This is our business over here. And we had $55 Motel, Vinny D. We had Stone Cold Hustler, DC Scorpio. We had
Michelle.
Back then, back then she was Michelle Johnson.
Michelle Johnson, yeah.
Yeah. And never had stinking dick. Never had stinking dick.
Michelle in the old cello. That's your question, man. Was she an item with Michael Neal or no?
Absolutely.
Okay, they were. Okay. I didn't know.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Funky Ned. I ain't know if you know. I don't know if you know. Hey, my man, Mr. Hammond. It's our research, man, but come on. Government, man. Before social media, back in the day, we had a couple of, magazines and things like T-Mop, your man, Mr. Hammond. They had Go-Go Swing magazine, Benji.
Big Benji.
Yeah, but Mr. Hammond say, man, you was a force, man. He say you changed the second mic. Say a lot of people don't know this, but you changed that second mic, man. Although you say Benny was a second mic person and Funk, was that first mic, but when you start doing your thing, that he said you changed that second mic.
When I first started in rappers, the position they gave me, they called the truth. That meant I was the rapper. Huh? I got some of my rappers, we gonna go ahead and tonight, y'all. I got some of my favorite tunes in the building, y'all, okay? This is what I'm gonna say. Who's the best? I want the best to come test me. Who is that? Who's the best? I want the best to come test me. Who's the best? I want the best to come test me. Yeah. Who's the best? I want the best to come test me. Oh yeah. No. I spit things for run with it. Niggas talk about their life, but they say I'm bringing like smoke with it. Smoke with it. I got the best style.
So I think, I appreciate the comment, but, and I can't argue it one way or the other, but Go-Go changed then. Because when Funk left, there was no Lawrence the Maniac, Benny was gone, so now it was me and White Boy.
Oh, Funk and Benny was gone at the same time.
Yeah, so now it's me and White Boy, and neither one of us really had the courage
to go up there.
So what White Boy decided was, we were in the back of the Metro Club because Funk was there, and then somebody said something to him and it pissed him off, and he just said, "Fuck it, I'm gone." Right? And so White Boy said, "Okay, if I'm going to talk, we got to start out blasting, hi-hat open, timbales going." And so that became, because Funk would warm up, he would start down here. Sorry is all that I can say. I go on it. Right, Funk had a whole collection of goofy ass songs where he just was just chilling. He gonna get to Work the Walls, but that's, well, Work the Walls wasn't there then, but he gonna get up there, but not till later. He got a whole, but so White Boy decided, no, we gonna come out blasting. That way people don't pay him no attention. The man is cranking. And so, and that's when I kind of started as well, I guess. Not started, but that's when I started being more, and what I started doing was the names. 501. Like, and so that's what started putting the cruise on in that kind of, in that 58, right, in that kind of way. And then because of Miles and them, right, I started knowing the street ball players.
Right.
And so when I started giving the street ball players love, they had never got that from nobody.
Exactly.
Right? And so then they started coming out. Man, listen. X-Ray Hip, they was playing Duke the next day in the ACC tournament. And he brought the whole team to Eastside. I mean, Eastside. I mean,
the whole
Wayne Seal, Eastside. Right. When they lives was in jeopardy. Right? I'm just saying. So those was the things that it was about putting people on and recognizing people, and I think I did that. I think I did that. You know what I mean?
They definitely. I mean, during that time, I was stationed at Fort Myers, but I used to go to the East Side. Them hoopers, like you say, they wasn't really going to go-go's like that until you start, calling them out like that. So they, like you said, they were bringing the Hip, want everybody to know that that guy when he walked in.
Because that was my guy. He was my guy.
When Floyd see him, he shot him out, plugged you, shot him on the whole team. And like you say, with that extra baggage, used to come in.
Hey, even on hey, what song was that, man? You shouted out Big Jeff on 58th, man.
Body Snatch?
No, not Body Snatch.
That was my guy. Every song.
Oh, every song.
Every song. Okay.
Every song. Big Jeff.
Big Jeff used to walk up in the
Cutaway.
Big Jeff used to walk up in the motherfucker like this, with his chest out, because he already knew. He already knew. He said, "Snapper, come on, man. We gonna see how he." I said, "Man, so Floyd can call your name 50 times and don't call my name."
That was my man. But just in the same vein, Chucky was his man, and Chucky is the one who raised Kevin Durant.
Absolutely.
They would be over there and
gotta get at the Chucky.
Seat Pleasant. And he would always talk about, I got this younger man, he's nice, da-da-da-da-da. Chucky, you can't even coach, man. Get out of my butt. And even Dwayne, even Kevin Durant, I mean, he gives Chucky the prayer.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny, man, when, not to get off the subject, but it's funny when you see people now or hear about people now that have become these big folk heroes, but back then to us it was Alpo and Demisio and all that. You know, they go Rayford over there and Tony Lewis. It wasn't nothing to us.
Yeah,
we was just everything was cool. But now the stories they you know.
It's funny when you look at them, though, right?
Yeah.
So we got 20 minutes, man. We're gonna take a quick break. Miles, you can take us a break.
You said it. You take us a break. Earn your part in this. Earn your fucking keep in this. We'll be right back, man. We're with the legendary D. Floyd, the king of the go-go beat, go-go extraordinaire, man. Coming back to you live in the den.
In the den.